Where your money sets in retirement matters just as much as how much money you've saved towards retirement. And here is why. We see a lot of people who are qualified rich, but they're cash poor. What this means is they've done a very good job of saving money. They've aggressively invested in their 401k, their traditional IRAs, qualified accounts. We'll discuss what that means in just a few minutes, but essentially those dollars feel almost as if they're locked up and unable to be spent due to the tax ramifications of pulling them out. This creates this perplexed dynamic of I've got money saved, but I don't have money to spend without paying taxes at that time. You see, you think you've done everything right. You've maxed out your 401k. You have saved aggressively. You continue to build a balance in your investment. And what you see on the statement still yet does not feel as if it's yours. And that's because it's not, or at least not all of it. You see, you have a silent partner in the IRS. And the IRS owns at least a portion of every dollar you pull out of that account. And for this reason, because you know that, because you feel that, you feel as if perhaps you can't spend any of it at all. We've seen this many times. As a matter of fact, we talk to people before they become clients of ours, and one of the things we ask them is, how do you plan on spending this money? Today, I want to talk to you about the difference between accumulation and accessibility, both of which are very important and both of which must be understood as you enter into retirement income phase. So let's dive into this idea of being qualified rich but cash poor. Again, qualified accounts simply mean that every dollar you have in that account, I like to think of it this way, is qualified to be taxed at some point in the future. Qualified accounts in layman's terms mean tax me later, IRS man, don't tax me today. You get an immediate tax break for the money you put in there now, where in the future you decide I'll pay taxes at an unknown tax bracket. You get an immediate tax break on the money you put in there today in an agreement with the government that yes, I'll pay taxes on that at a later time. Sounds great. As a matter of fact, America was sold on this when they realized that they will likely retire with less income than they're making today, therefore being in a lower tax bracket. But I've got news for you. The tax code is written in pencil, not in pen. And we are spending money as a country going into debt deeper and deeper every single second. My thoughts around taxes are that they'll likely increase. And if they do, this is going to put a lot of retirees in a pickle. They've anticipated selling stocks, maybe taking income at a lower tax bracket, when in reality, they may be retiring in the exact same tax bracket, if not higher altogether. And we'll discuss a different idea around taxes. And what you'll see by the end of this video is that you may also be leaving a higher tax burden behind for your loved ones when they receive this money, if you don't spend it all. And that's an unintended consequence that we see a lot of people, unfortunately, do in their plan. This is why RDS Wealth exists. We understand that taxes likely will increase over time. So now that you've saved all of this money in qualified accounts, you may feel as if you can't spend a single dollar of it unless you're willing to pay the tax bill that's attached to the dollar you pull out. And we see this far too often. People have saved money, they have money, yet they don't feel as if they have access to that money because they understand that there's a tax bill to come with every dollar they withdraw. For that reason, they may go through that year or maybe multiple years not spending any money at all because they're unaware of what the taxes would be, and they have no one to really help them understand the tax consequence, or if there is a way to potentially do this in a more tax efficient manner. And then enters the next problem. If you have qualified accounts that you don't touch, eventually the IRS is going to make you take money out. This is called a required minimum distribution. And what we find is a lot of times the required minimum distribution may kick retirees into a higher tax bracket altogether. Just simply being told to take money on the IRS's terms, as opposed to planning on how you can take money on your own terms, often results in higher taxes paid than would otherwise have to be the case. This is why we believe strongly in having a tax plan for retirement. And even those who may consider themselves well planned on the tax side, maybe their CPA is consistently looking at tax planning and trying their best to get taxes as low as possible in the year in which you are filing taxes. So if you're hearing me say this, if you wait too late, the IRS forces you to take money out. And if you take it out too early, you're penalized because of the pre-59.5 withdrawal rule, which many people are familiar with. This is giving you a very short window of time to actually take money out of your IRA on your own terms at a rate at which you have decided is acceptable for you and your financial plan. Again, this is why we believe that a tax plan is very important for the clients that we work with. And we must make sure that the tax plan and the income plan speak together, that they're not working against one another. And what do you mean by that? Well, this is what I mean. When I talk about the tax plan and the income plan working against one another, we see this far too often in people that we're discussing a potential partnership with, where they have a growth advisor growing their money in a qualified account, traditional 401k or traditional IRA, and they have a CPA who is doing their best to keep taxes as low as possible in the year in which they're filing taxes. All of that sounds great. Growth on one side, low taxes on the other. The problem then lies when you begin to take income out of this portfolio, and ultimately it could very easily raise your tax bill. Your CPA is not too happy about that, nor is your growth advisor happy about pulling money out of an account, especially in years where the market may have taken a little bit of that money. You've got to make sure that you have a strong income plan, knowing what accounts you're pulling from, how that becomes tax efficient, as well as a good tax plan, making sure that yes, taxes may increase this year, but only if it benefits me in future years to come with a potentially lifetime lower tax bill. All of this is wrapped up in Roth conversion strategies, qualified charitable distributions, perhaps even donor advised funds. This is where the tax plan must be proactive, planning years into the future, as opposed to looking at this year's reactive scorecard, if you will, for taxes. Tax planning is much different than doing taxes. This is where we begin to discuss why it's important to have a tax plan and an income plan working together with the clients we partner with. Now, when we move to this phase of taking money out of your IRA, you also have to be aware of something called IRMAA. Taking money out of qualified accounts causes potentially a higher income in that year. A large withdrawal could even kick you into a higher than expected Medicare premium. That's right. Medicare can go up because you pulled money out of these accounts. Again, you get why I'm telling you that some people may feel as if they have all this money, but they don't just know how to spend it, at least not yet. And this is why we introduce them to our team, because we seek to give them the freedom to spend their money without worrying about running out of it or worrying about getting taxed inefficiently along the way. So we've discussed the idea that qualified accounts have a short period of time where you can take money out. You take it out too early, you get penalized. You take it out too late, you could be penalized. If you take it out too frequently or too much in a given year, not only do you drive your tax bill higher, but you also could be costing yourself more money in Medicare expenses like IRMAA. This idea causes a lot of perplexity, even fear, trepidation, or even a paralyzing effect for retirees as they go into retirement, not knowing where to spend their money or how to spend their money because of all of these things we've just mentioned. Now, they may not be able to put a pin on it. You might be feeling this yourself, not quite understanding exactly what you fear, but you know you fear spending money. RDS Wealth exists for one reason. We work with clients to eliminate that fear, eliminate that worry, and allow them to not only go into life living the lifestyle they've always desired, but going into that lifestyle with freedom and confidence to go impact future generations to come. This is exactly why our team exists. We would love an opportunity to talk with you today, making sure that you understand that yes, making more money is very important, but when you get ready to retire, it's not about how much money you make. It's about how much money you get to keep. And our objective is building an income plan that allows you to spend that money while keeping as much of it as you can sheltered away from your silent partner, the IRS. If you would like a little bit more information about this or anything else involving retirement planning, we are here for you. Give us a call, 270-600-PLAN, or navigate to the link below where you will be able to set up a 15-minute phone call with one of our advisors. We'll make it easy for you. We'll reach out to you. How about that? Okay, until we talk again, always remember, save money, plan well, and live happy in retirement. God bless.